Around the Table on Harrison's original KHOZ.
And welcome to Around the Table for a Thursday edition of Around the Table with Dan and Ann. Excuse me for what?
Nothing. Nothing.
Over there burping or
something?
something?
I had to take a look. No.
Well, welcome to the show. It's a Thursday, and Ann is counting down the minutes before she leaves today. She's going to be taking a trip by air in the middle of Memorial Day weekend.
You know, I told Dan this morning, I really didn't even realize it was that travel weekend.
Oh, brother.
So
why did you pick this day? Just because random off the calendar?
Not at all. Because in my husband's job, when some of the people that he works with are on vacation, that's the time we go to vacation.
Oh, okay.
That's what decides our vacation time.
That's a workaround.
It is. And this week opened up for an opportunity that we probably could be gone, so we took it.
Have you ever vacated here in Arkansas?
What do you mean?
I mean, had a little overnight trip or something here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But usually it's a biggie. I mean, you know, if we're planning on a big vacation, it's a big vacation. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You're going to be gone for a week?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I will be back June 2nd.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's our show. That will be.
I'll be Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when
You'll be
I'll
gone
back.
for a week, and I'll have Beamer in as our guest host.
So you know what, people? Beamer's a little more high-strung than me, and I'm pretty high-strung, so just bear with him.
Yeah, and I've doubled up my sessions for therapy next week.
You're going to need them, and not from Beamer. I'm not sure I would want to be under therapy sessions with Beamer.
No, not with him, but because of him.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah. So he's out there.
He is.
He has tentacles in everything.
You'll find out.
Yeah, and I think he's supposed to be back Tuesday. He took a little trip to California.
Aren't you going to have Lisa Johnson tomorrow?
Yes, we're having Lisa Johnson in the studio, and we're going to have a guest, Reen Christie, also known as Marcia from the Waltons. And people say, well, who's Marcia?
Right.
Well, that was John Boy's love interest.
Okay, I don't remember that.
She was in the very first premiere episode.
Oh, wow.
And then I think she was in a few others throughout the process. I'm going to be asking her.
So she wasn't a big character in that whole Walton's deal.
No, but if you're a Walton fan, you know who she is.
You know. And John meant a lot to John Boy because that was his woman.
Mm-hmm. That was his
love connection.
And I thought I would ask Lisa because she's a Walton fan.
Yes, I think that was perfect. See, I need to just be gone when you do stuff like that.
You ask me every day, have you found a guest host? Have you found a guest host? Have you found it? I'm just going to let it flow.
You do. I'm anal. I have to get it done, or it freaks me out.
Away.
I do not in any way, shape, or form want to have to do this show by myself, because it's a talk show, and although I do talk to myself, I've not tried just talking to the audience without someone to bounce off.
The great thing about me, you got me to listen, because I listen most of the time, and when I have a thought to interject, it's cut off in the middle. So
I do better about that. Have I not? You haven't even noticed.
Yes, I have.
I mean, I do try more often to sit and listen to the story.
Well, people will ask me, don't you ever get a word in edgewise? I said, every now and then.
I haven't mastered it yet.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
You're not going to get a bit of it with Beamer here either.
I know. He's a cutoff king. But
okay.
I was raised, my mother raised me to be respectful. So when somebody else starts to talk, I shut up.
Same thing. I've just outgrown it.
Okay.
But you know what I did that day? You talked to me about it, and I said, he's not wrong. So I went and put shh, A-T-T, shh, on around the table to remind me not to be interrupting all the time.
How do you wrangle those voices in your head, though?
That's the problem. They screw me up.
They jump in front. Everybody and all the voices in your head, they're trying to get in front of each other.
There is. There's a race
Yeah,
going on.
there's a
Y'all
race
should
going.
just live in
Yeah.
my brain. You think squirrels in the attic?
Oh boy.
It's
Oh,
hot.
my
Y'all,
gosh.
you've put me in the hot seat
Oh,
again.
I'm not. You put yourself there.
No, I disagree.
Well, let's see. We've got a guest today on the show, and it's a phone-in guest. It's going to be Donna Baxter. She wrote a book called Targeted Innocent,
Okay.
Survivor in an Impossible Hostile Work Environment.
I think she speaks from experience.
She does. We're going to be talking about her book, why she wrote it, where you can get your hands on it, and a little bit more about Donna a little bit later on in the show. So, yeah. Okay. You want to do some weather?
Sure.
Are you have you checked the forecast down in the Caribbean?
Oh, it's fun.
Okay.
Better than it is
It's always
here.
the same down there, right?
Yeah, there's always a little chance of rain.
Yeah.
It's usually at
Little
20,
sprinkle.
30%, and then it's gone. But yeah.
Okay.
So today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10 a.m. Well, it rains sometime. I'm not sure when.
Last
but
night?
Yeah. And a slight chance of thunderstorms. Mostly sunny with a high of 76, and the precipitation chance is at 30%.
Okay.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 50. Friday, a 30% chance of showers after 1. Mostly mostly sunny with a high of 72. Friday night, a chance of showers at 80% at some point. And where's the high? Why am I? Oh, low. Sorry, low of 56. Man, I couldn't see that. The other voice in my head was trying to take over. It screwed me up. And then Saturday, showers and possibly a thunderstorm before 1 p.m. High of 70. Chance of precip for Saturday is at 80%. Saturday night, a 50% chance of showers with a low of 60.
Okay. And
Take
then
it into
Sunday, showers continue with a 70% chance of thunderstorms and possibly some rain in the forecast. High 75. Low Sunday night, 59. 80% chance of rain. Gosh almighty, it's going to rain.
forever.
And then more Memorial Day, 70% chance of rain with a high near 71. Monday night, low 54, 30% chance of rain. 20% chance of rain Tuesday. Wednesday, no chance of rain. High 74 degrees.
Wow, it should rain.
Yeah.
Said no one ever.
Okay. All right. We got a couple topic to ponders to go. You won't
We
be doing tomorrow,
do.
and we have no responses on this one. This one's probably a brain locker upper.
Yeah, there's not one. There's a like and one share.
Yeah. So we're going to do it anyway, and maybe we can.
Spark some interest.
Spark
and
some
get
interest.
It out. Yeah.
Get up, get moving, get those thinking caps on. It's time to ponder this topic.
Okay. Do I get to ask? Or
Yeah, you can
ask?
ask the question.
How would others describe how you handle challenges or difficult situations?
Depends on how bad the situation is.
Okay, say it's,
I don't like computer problems. I go bananas when my password doesn't work.
I understand that.
So I don't handle that very well. I mean, I do, but it's all I can do.
But
to
you're calm. I mean, maybe not in that
internally,
instance.
no, I'm not.
But when we even have some difficulty here, you're internally you may not be, but what comes out for people to see is more. No, but your mind is on fix it. You know what I mean? You don't have time to do what I would do, which is just go. Are you? Who knows what would come out? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think that people, when they see me handle a difficult situation, I'm pretty well letting my feelings out on my sleeve.
So they know.
They know that I'm flustered.
My husband used to bang his mouse on his.
Bang his mouse when the mouse wouldn't work. You remember
No, when he was having trouble, or a computer issue,
Oh, yeah.
or the internet, whatever it was, he would get upset. He doesn't do that.
You remember the old mouses, the wired mouses, where you had to take
Yes.
the ball out every now and then and clean the lint out of it?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
somebody else did it for you
Maybe
because that was a common problem back in the day.
wouldn't roll correctly or scroll.
It
or
would
whatever you
roll,
call
but it would pick up dust, and it would keep the ball from rolling. You'd move your mouse around, and the arrow would just sit there and then jump.
Oh, I hated that's kind of okay. I
Lint.
understand where you're at.
Lint.
Is that what it is?
That's what it was.
Okay. Well,
We don't have that problem anymore.
no, we do
Thank
not.
goodness.
How did we even get off on that?
I don't know.
Oh, because we're talking about difficult situations?
Yeah, difficult. That's a difficult situation.
I'm usually pretty
Having a flat,
frazzled.
having a flat in the rain is a big problem.
That would be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably am like at a loss kind of thing, the first thing. And then
Yeah,
you got to
what do
figure
you
out
do?
what
You
are you going
gotta
to do.
figure it out what
you
to
got to
do,
figure out what
yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Which is how I felt when I got back ended. I'm like, okay, crap. I don't know what's going on back there. I don't know how bad it is. Can I
Yeah.
drive? Yes, I could drive. So
Well,
I got to figure it out.
Yeah, to let people know you were in Springfield and somebody
Yeah,
rammed you from behind.
yeah.
And your car looks like crap from back
It does
there.
not. It's getting. I do have an appointment to get it fixed, so that's
Okay.
progress. I don't
All
know
right.
how long it'll be in the shop. That is a question.
Yeah? Okay.
Okay.
So our question today for our topic to ponder is how would others describe how you handle challenges or difficult situations? And this would be a perfect response from a spouse. So ask your spouse.
Ooh, yes, do
Yeah.
ask your spouse. And your wife hasn't even commented yet. Maybe she's afraid to.
I don't know.
Anywho, our graphic is up on our Facebook page around the table. Go and give us your thoughts, please.
All right, let's do some history.
All right.
We're doomed to repeat ourselves, so let's find out what happened today in history.
Thousands are dead. 1/4 of the nation, over 2 million homeless. Whole cities have been reduced to shambles.
65 years ago, a magnitude 9.5 earthquake, the strongest on record, struck southern Chile, claiming some 655 lives there. Many more died from tsunamis that hit from the Philippines to California.
Okay.
It is a sober meeting, the first ever on the soil of Moscow, as opposed to the Soviet Union, of a president of the United States and the head of a Soviet state.
1972, 53 years ago, Richard Nixon arrived in Moscow for the first state visit there by an American president. CBS News correspondent Richard Hottel reported as Nixon descended from Air Force One. Also, President Franklin Roosevelt had visited the Soviet Union in 1945 for a secret meeting with Joseph Stalin and Winston Churchill. It was not a state visit, so this was actually the first one.
Rain or something, started breaking the windows and all that glass kept falling in. People just were screaming and scared.
38 years ago, a tornado in West Texas ripped through the town of Saragossa, killing 30 people and injuring 160. Lee Estrada was among the survivors.
I've watched him since I was in high school, and I'm just really going to miss him.
This is it. This is the absolute swan song, and so to be part of it is to be a part of history.
33 years ago today, wow, that was a long time ago. The Tonight Show host, Johnny Carson, retired after 30 years after taking over the show from Jack Parr. These fans waited in line for the last final broadcast of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Wow.
CBS News management has decided that the CBS Evening News should return to a single anchor format. Connie Chung's future with CBS News is still under consideration and discussion.
Wow. 30 years ago, Dan Rather again became solo anchor of the CBS Evening News after the network decided a nearly 2-year experiment with Connie Chung as co-anchor had failed. I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, you remember that? And
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything from her after that. So
Yeah, I don't know.
One minute it was just barely sprinkling, and next minute, boy, just whole world just upside down.
this was back in 2011, 14 years ago. A tornado devastated Joplin, Missouri, with winds up to 250 miles per hour, claiming at least 159 lives and destroying about 8,000 homes and businesses. And this man was among the survivors.
People shrieking, running, screaming, jumping over balconies.
8 years ago, a suicide bomber set off an improvised explosive device that killed 22 people at the end of an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, England. That woman described what it was like to be inside that building.
And we have a birthday cut today. Back in 1950, 75 years ago, songwriter Bernie Taupin was born. He penned the lyrics for many of Elton John's biggest hits, including Your Song.
Yup. And singer Morrissey was born 66 years ago.
Okay.
You taught me how to have faith. You are the one who taught me that hope is a choice.
Jennifer Goodwin was born on this day and 47 years ago. She is known for playing Snow White or Mary Margaret Blanchard in the fantasy series Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
All right. We're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we should have Donna Baxter on the phone, and we'll be talking about her new book called Targeted Innocent. Stick around, stay with us for that interview, and we'll be right back right after this.
Table, streaming live on Facebook and Hometown TV, channel 26.1.
Welcome back to Around the Table with Dan and Ann. We should have on the phone with us Donna Baxter. Donna, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, good morning to you.
Good morning back.
Yes. Now, I met Donna at the Cherry Blossom Festival up there in Marshfield, and you're from Springfield, are you not?
Well, that's where I've lived for several years. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And you've written a book. I'm going to bring the book cover up here and let people take a look at it. It's called "Targeted Innocent: Survivor in an Impossible Hostile Work Environment." And is this a personal story for you?
Yes, it is, but I wrote the book in third person.
Oh, okay. All right.
But after the experience, obviously.
Oh, yes, and well, I tied some things together with a little bit of fiction, but it's a true story.
Okay. Did you make it a fiction just to make it more readable or more interesting?
No. With my editor, I wrote the story about what happened, and he said, well, the only thing you kind of need to do is get into the story, and then at the end, close it out. It's like what happened after.
Okay.
So you had
most of that is like that. It's just to kind of tie it together that way.
Now, were you an author before this? Have you written? I think we talked that you were working for a newspaper at one time.
Yes, I always wanted to write. I don't know, for some reason, and when I was a kid, I'd write stories and things like that, and so it was kind of in my blood. But when you grow up, there's not a lot of money and that sort of thing. I mean,
so you have a big imagination as a child.
Well, yes, and my dad, he was in the Army, and he said I should really concentrate on getting a job where I'd have a pension, and which is what I did.
Right.
But then I got to finally do what I wanted to do, but it was all because of this experience. But nobody wants an experience like this.
Can you briefly tell us what the experience was?
Well, let's see. I started out, writing and things like that, but then before it all started, I got the job at a federal job at the medical center here. And it was in the office, well, I had a couple of jobs, but the one that you just take whatever comes you can get to get in the door. And then my job that I really liked was in the education department, and I was in there for 13 years almost after the other short-term job, and that's where the inmates came to school. And I was in the office, did testing for them, the ABE tests, to see where they would be in school, that sort of thing. And we had the libraries. I had those. I had the print shop. I loved that job. I mean, I really loved the job and what I was doing. I thought maybe it was something worthwhile. And then that's when things kind of turned bad when we got this new boss. And he turned out to be, well, one of the worst people I've ever met in my whole life. I hate to say that because he's passed away now, but but he was.
Yeah. Was he overbearing and was he a micromanager?
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah. In fact, and I put it in the book. I wrote about when I met him the first time, and the other boss we'd had was such a nice man, and he was fair, and he was, he was just really a nice man, knew how to manage us and let us work, and all that. And if you did something that he thought you might should have done it differently, well, he would tell you, but didn't make you feel like you were an inch tall.
Yeah.
So anyway, then we got this guy, and one of the teachers in the education department had a class with him in Colorado. I just had a federal class there several years before, and he kind of warned us about what kind of a person he was.
Wow.
And unless he'd changed, he said it wouldn't be very pleasant to work for. But anyway, I went up to get him because you have to escort a new person to where we work there in the back of the institution. And of course, you want to make a little bit of conversation, try to get acquainted. Sure. And I asked him if his family was, his family was, family was like their new, had been settled and everything. And he kind of grumbled a little bit, and then I cannot remember what I said, but I tried to keep it going, and he said he had $3 in high school. Well, I had sons that old. You see, now this is when I was very young, because I had kids that were, the oldest one anyway was in high school. And so I mentioned that, and then he said something that wasn't very nice about whether he didn't care whether his family wanted to come or not, and didn't care whether they liked it or not. But it,
yeah.
I mean, I thought, good grief,
Yeah.
And he didn't want to get acquainted or talk or anything, and
shut
then
that down, didn't he?
He did, and he had it down pat. And we found out he'd been transferred 3 times and downgraded for the same kind of stuff, even with inmates' wives, apparently. And I hope I don't say something I shouldn't, because this is all allegedly, because we didn't see any of it. We just heard it. Our union found out. And, well, it wasn't 30 minutes till he asked me my grade and told me if I wanted to get a good evaluation, I had to make him happy.
What? Okay, this is that's messed up.
And what year was it? What year was this?
It would have been. Let me think a minute. Right around 1990, I think.
Okay, yeah.
But see, I was pretty young, yeah.
Yeah.
But they let him keep getting by with it. So why wouldn't
Yeah.
There was no.
We found out. Well, the union found out a lot of stuff about this. Our union was absolutely wonderful, and it had been for them, Yeah. They found out all this that he had some buddies, he owed some favors, or he owed some other people some favors and so forth, good old buddy things.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he had, I don't know, just kind of to tie this whole thing, and I put it in I think it was in my introduction, but it was right near the front someplace. We put that the arbitration people from Washington, D.C., and the investigators, the EEO people, told us that when they first went into the institution to investigate it, they hadn't been there 2 hours, and they told my main union rep, that he said, well, we don't know what's going on here, but something sure as heck is.
Huh. Wow.
So
they knew that right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long?
And also that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to mention that they told us also that there were hundreds of thousands of complaints turned into EEO and other, to Washington, D.C.
Oh, boy.
And of those hundreds of thousands, about 12 out of each 100, maybe 12, so just an average, out of each 100 actually reach arbitration.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
And of each of those 12, only one wins. And we won.
Oh.
And you won, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they told us they'd never seen a case like that ever.
Oh, boy.
And so we couldn't figure out why it ever went so far, because it was so ridiculous.
Mm. So how
they
long?
didn't like me because I wouldn't go along with him,
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe that was a good thing.
Well, yeah, in a way, I think I couldn't have, maybe got a. Go ahead.
I was going to say, how long did you work with him before it got to this point?
30 minutes.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
He started the first day. And then as soon as he realized I wasn't going to, he called me in his office a little bit later and started in on it, But some of the stuff, I didn't put near of it all in the book. I went away and tried to make it continuous,
right.
have it flow.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't put it all in there. It was just every day.
It's an everyday thing.
And I remember every day, and my husband got to go to the arbitration and sit in.
Mm.
And at the end of it, he sat back there. You could see his face. I didn't talk to my family. I didn't want them worried about it.
Sure.
And I have sons and my husband. And so he sat back there. You could tell his face the way he looked. He was hearing a lot of that for the first time. But they asked him at the end of it, said, "Did you have anything you wanted to say?" And he said, I remember one morning when she was getting ready to go to work, she said, "I'd give anything in the world if I didn't have to go out there today."
Uh-huh.
Wow.
But that, because they didn't know, because I didn't tell them.
Well, I just wonder how many people like you are in that situation today where they just dread going to work and having to deal with one or two people.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
There are. I hope there aren't very many, but there surely are. I hadn't had any problem. It's the boss. I mean, actually, that I think mainly causes the. I'm sure there are bad employees too, but
yeah,
I think somebody like this person, nobody likes him. He didn't have any friends.
It's easier to get rid of an employee, but it's hard to get rid of a boss once they're in a position.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
that's obvious because they kept transferring.
How long did you work before all this happened? I mean, I know it happened quickly, but as far as being able to get out of the situation.
Well, I worked out there. It was over 13 years, and I wasn't under him but about 6 months because I couldn't stand it.
Right.
I got sick, actually, and you know at the end of the book why.
Right.
But,
hey, did you know?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't remember what it was.
Sorry about that.
I think I'm done.
Well,
Yeah,
I want to
no
know
problem.
where people can find you, for one, because I just looked you up during some of this, and you're on Kindle Unlimited, so I have downloaded
and also
your book.
Amazon. Oh, a good deal. Amazon.com. You can get it there, too, if they want to order the soft copy, paperback. You might want to mention that and the Kindle, of course.
Wow.
And I've just been on there a short time. It took me a long time to figure it out. When I got a good publisher, my editor and I, we've never, either one, he was at the newspaper where I worked, and now he's at a TV station. But we didn't, and either one know how to go about this. And we found out, though, that through a friend's mother-in-law who had a book published, I found this publisher here in Springfield, and they're the ones who published the book. And they're so nice. You can just call them up and talk to them, just
nice.
like your neighbor.
Yeah.
And instead of all by text, like the others.
Yeah, we have interviewed several fledgling authors that have maybe produced their own book or have written their first piece, and they go through the same problem. They don't know where to go, what to do, but they know they want a book published. So
you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
My sister out in Colorado's got something she's kind of working on, and she said, I told her just find someone local that you can actually talk to.
Now,
because they do just as good. They do as good a job getting it on Kindle and Amazon and everything as anybody else.
Well, just find somebody that's done it, and I think that's the experience you really need. What were you gonna say?
And I've had a lot of.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, do you have other books? So sorry.
I think there's a slight delay in our
the
conversation.
I've got a couple of children's books that I'm going to write. I just moved in my house. It's such a kind of a mess. I've got to work a little bit on getting things put away and everything.
Have you got the characters laid out or the premise of the book?
Well, these books of the two children's books that I have in mind to do now were stories my mother told, and they were true stories, but they were so cute, and they were published actually first. I wrote them for her because she wouldn't do it, and we got them. She didn't want to, but she told me the stories, and we got them written, and she checked them over. Everything was the way she wanted it, and everything. But they were in the Ozarks Mountaineer, that used to be published down out of, let's see, Forsyth, I guess, is where he was. Yeah, he had that little magazine, and he said actually his readership he had outlived his readership, is what he said. It was a lot of old stories and remembrances of things in the past. And I had several things written in that book, that magazine, mainly that she told me. And so these two stories, of all the things that might work, these two would be so cute. And I've got a little granddaughter that's a sophomore that's an artist, and she is going to illustrate.
Cool.
At least the first one.
Yeah.
And because I don't know whether she can the second one or not, but the first one. And so we've got that all worked out. She wants to go on a field trip to Japan or something, or one of those trips, later in her high school years.
We'll need to
make a little money that way.
Yeah, we'll need to get you back on the show when that book is close to being finished.
Okay, well, we haven't even started it. I've got
the text
get to
done,
but
work.
that's about it. Well, I'll tell you what, I got to get this mess put away first. Actually, we've done floors. I've been here long enough that everything was more or less the way, but the house didn't have floors like we wanted. So
no, we all have projects like that.
You bet.
Oh yeah, but now we've got it done. Well, I'm so happy to be able to get on there and explain it. I didn't want to tell everything so that people could read. Maybe
we got to leave them hanging.
Yeah,
so that they can buy the book.
I thought too that this possibly, because we went through every rule as it was supposed to be done. All of the whole thing, and he got a hold of they put a new discipline publisher policy in effect, and oh boy, that was giving him a lot of ammunition. He made stuff up. That's what the whole thing was so bad about it. He made stuff up, and they give me a chance every now and then, to make him happy and all that stuff.
we encourage people to check you out. Donna Baxter, and the name of the book is Targeted Innocent Survivor in an Impossible Hostile Work Environment. And it sounds like a pretty good read.
It does.
Well, I think that we thought, and me, I'm talking about me, my editor, and who is also a local person, and the union people. Mm-hmm. As we followed everything, we even brought the Unfair Labor Board in, and we did everything that was there that was possible, and it might give someone who is going through an experience like this, courage to go ahead and follow through.
Absolutely,
you bet.
You
bet.
Donna, hey,
with a city lawyer on top of that took it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. I was just going to say we got to go to a commercial break here, and I do appreciate the time you spent with us, and hopefully your book is doing real well. Did you enjoy the Cherry Blossom Festival?
Oh yes, I sure did. It's the first time I've ever gone to one, and that's the only one thing. Next time I'm going to take someone with me. But this time everybody that I would want to go had to work or something.
Yeah.
Because you can't get up and walk around.
You can't leave your booth. No, you can't go to the bathroom without. You might miss a sale.
They do have I did find out though the next day they do have volunteers that will sit at your booth and watch it for you.
Oh, that's
you
nice.
Gotta go eat or to the bathroom or something.
That's nice.
Donna, thanks so much.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you doing this and talking to me because.
Well, we'll call you again sometime.
Sometimes I get a chance. What's that?
I said we'll call you again sometime and keep in touch. Let us know what you're doing.
Okay, I sure will, and I'll especially when I get this other one getting up and going.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you.
And thank you, both of you. Appreciate it very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
All right. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll have more for you from Around the Table with Dan and Ann. Stay with us. Doing a little housekeeping, trying to keep up with all the new stuff we're doing.
Exactly, Dan.
Yeah, we got more sponsors and more people wanting to sponsor our show.
And we like to recognize those people, for sure.
It'd be easier if we didn't, but what's the payoff if you don't?
Such as?
Yeah. Such as Moark Big Deals. They've got a huge, not just so much Moark Big Deals, but the
Capaldi's.
Capaldi's, yes. I'm looking for the Capaldi's. One stop heating and cool. They've got that 12,000 BTU 18 Sear 2 unit. It's a Dakin Extra Mini Split unit. Okay. And what they're doing is they're auctioning off, and the last day to auction will be May the 27th.
Better get it in there.
Better get it in there. Summer's coming, and if you've got a room or a basement or a place that's normally hot. My office at the studio, every room in the building is cool except for my room. That I need one of these units in my room.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I'm sure
you've got windows everywhere.
There may be some dead things in the ductwork. I don't know, keeping the airflow from flowing.
It's an older building.
So
yeah, that could be. Well, okay then, Dan.
So go to moarkbigdeals.com and look for the Capaldi's one-stop heating and cooling. It's the Dakin Extra Mini Split 12,000 BTU 18 Sear 2 unit. It cools 550 square feet. Insulated, included, provided by Capaldi's one-stop heating and cooling. Summer's going to be hot, and this is the perfect answer for that.
And you might mention that he will be on the show tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow at the 9:30 hour.
I'm looking for their thing here. Oh, okay. Current bid is $2,500. Retail value is $4,447.
$4,447.
And the bidding starts. No, it says the bidding starts Tuesday, May 27th.
Oh.
So what? Well, how's that even true? I don't think that makes sense.
No, it says every day leading up to the auction, May 27th. We'll have to clarify that.
So you can bid till the 27th, and then I don't get it.
I guess
you need to find that out tomorrow.
Okay, I'll ask him how that
I'm just reading off the Moark Big Deals.
We'll get it from the horse's mouth tomorrow.
You darn tootin' you will, by golly.
The current bid is $2,500?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
That's a deal.
Yeah, it's a steal of a deal.
That's almost half off.
You said you needed one. There you go.
I do. I'm going to bid on that.
You need to talk to him tomorrow and say, hey, can we do a little under
can we
the table?
Can we pull this off the auction block and just give it to me? I don't think that's going to work.
No, I don't either. I don't.
Also, Dick's 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Right there in Branson, Missouri. They're continuing their big push to give away. Why would anybody want to give away $100 a day?
I don't know, Dan.
Are they promoting something other than the fact to come to see them?
That's all I can figure.
Well, okay.
I need to probably get clarification on when this whole thing ends, too.
Yeah, we could go on forever.
We could. Yep.
Dick's 5 a dime. They're giving away $100 each day to lucky people who come in and register for the $100 giveaway. They're giving away $500 each and every week. So go down to Dick's 5 and 10, right there in the heart of Branson, right there at the crossroads where it all happens. Okay. What's next on the schedule?
Carrot maxing. That's what's next.
Carrot maxing.
You know what carrot maxing is, Dan?
No. Tell me, please.
Well, eating way too many canned carrots might make you look like you went a little nuts with the self-tanner.
Okay.
So I think that's the whole concept.
I have seen people eat a lot of carrots, and their skin looks like a carrot.
Well, that's not a pretty tan.
Orange.
That's an orangey color,
yeah, it's kind of
which
orangey.
is kind of weird. Maybe that's what Trump eats.
And you go up to him and you...
Maybe.
He may be on a carrot diet. But I've gone up to people and rubbed their skin, and it doesn't come off.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Huh.
What else is weird is they usually push back and say, "Why are you doing that?"
You think?
Yeah.
Because you're rubbing up on people you don't even know. I'd be a little pushback too. Hey, may I rub you? Well, okay. Eating way too many canned carrots might make you look like you have that tan or whatever. But they found out It's a dumb TikTok trend is where it kind of started, called carrot maxing. It's supposed to turn your skin darker. They think it's a healthy alternative to tanning, until the paramedics tell them they have sodium poisoning from all the salt in the canned carrots they've been going on. And overeating carrots won't replace a bronzer, but it will turn you orange.
I wonder if you buy these in a can, they're salted to preserve them.
Everything is salted,
I know. What about just eating raw carrots, like Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, why not just eat raw ones?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, what's up, Doc? Could do that.
I can tell. Like I try not to eat canned. I cannot eat canned soup because there's so much sodium in it. I can't get my rings off in the morning. It's just I'm very sensitive.
Are you pretty sensitive to that?
Yeah, and I take something to help with that. But anyway, yeah, there's just a lot of sodium out there in that stuff.
Along with the carrot trends, there's also another trend called Sardine Girl Summer.
Yeah.
Sardine Girl Summer. Get ready for Sardine Girl Summer. According to Google Trends, pretty much everything with a sardine on it this summer is the hottest new look.
Really?
Yeah, it says here, it's why dresses with a fish all over it have doubled in popularity, and searches for sardine tote bags have quadrupled in the last month. Oh, and the actual sardine cans have suddenly become fun decorations.
What?
Who knew?
Some influencer started this whole trend.
Okay.
I guess. Are sardines cute?
I like sardines.
I know you like to eat them, but are they cute? Do you want them all over your clothes?
They look like minnows to me.
That's what I think. Yeah. How do they know it's not a minnow? Just because they called it a sardine.
All right.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a baseball team that just was so bad that you wanted to call a lawyer and sue them for sucking so bad?
No, not
well, this fan sues Major League Baseball team for sucking too much. And it even asked the question, can you sue a baseball team for sucking too much? Some dude in Colorado is. His suit claims that the Rockies were so bad a couple of seasons ago, and the games got so boring that fans at the stadium paid more attention to their phones and food instead of the action on the field, which according to him is how he got beamed in the eye from a foul ball.
Should have been watching that
ball. He was watching the phone instead of the ball game. He also blames the low ceiling in his friend's luxury box for blocking his view of the incoming ball.
Don't bitch about the nicest. You know what I mean? The luxury box. Yeah. You're in a luxury box. Get over it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I guess if you've got a VIP box, you can afford to throw money away to a lawyer.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Pet kangaroo. Have you ever had a pet kangaroo?
No, but I've wanted a lemur before.
I know. You still want lemurs. One. Well, there was one that got loose. I mean, it was somebody's pet kangaroo in Colorado, which this states that it's totally legal for someone to own a kangaroo in the state of Colorado, which I would have no idea about that. His name is Irwin, and the cops have had to chase him before because he's escaped before. When they got the call last fall, he was tiny enough to fit into a little bag. This time, not so much. Cops said they were going to use a lasso, but luckily officers were able to just pick him up and put him in the squad car. Now, that would be one of those you want to go.
That's pretty good.
Snapchat. You come up to the red light, and there's a kangaroo in a cop car.
Yeah, don't kangaroos have some kind of, like, dangerous claws?
I don't know.
They can...
Probably they have to be able to defend themselves somehow. Okay. They can kick you with their feet.
I don't know if it's on their feet or their hands.
They may, but
I think it's on their feet.
I thought they got some chunked people.
They got some kind of, I don't know, horn or claw or something.
A beak.
A beak on their leg. Oh my gosh. Oh, we need to take another break, our last one for the day, and we'll do that right after this. Stay with us. And welcome back to Around the Table. Just a few minutes left before we close out this show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today and being a part of what we do here. We really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'd just be sitting in a room by ourselves and talking to nobody.
I do that all the time. What are you talking about?
You ever talk to yourself?
Yes, I do.
A lot? Do you answer yourself?
I don't know that I answer myself, no. But, sometimes I think maybe just God's listening. You know what I mean?
That's good to have a friend there to
I don't necessarily
bounce things off
invite
of.
him into my conversation.
Oh,
but,
you don't?
I do at times, yes.
You should. You should say, what do you think, man?
Maybe I should.
Yeah. Ask a question. You may get an answer.
And you might have to wait on that answer.
That's
a hard one for me.
That's all right.
But yeah.
Well, the great thing is if you don't forget the question you asked, and it's years later, and you go, I remember when I asked that, and now I'm getting.
It's really,
there you go.
Yeah, that's a cool moment when that happens, when you recognize that, for sure. So, we talked a little bit about travel, and I'm traveling tomorrow at 6 in the morning, which I didn't think about the fact that, it's going to be fun at the airport. But anyway, that's why we leave out of Springfield. It's a smaller airport. It's not quite as crazy. But there's TSA is, with airports expected to screen the first of 18 million travelers.
Oh,
That's
my
18
gosh.
million. The TSA expects today, which is Thursday, to be the worst for security lineups. Okay, I'm in the clear. And you'd think it would be even worse now that everyone needs one of the real IDs, but Homeland Security says so far 93% of passengers of TSA checkpoints have flashed one or the other, like a passport or something. It hasn't been an issue to slow down the progress. But
that's cool.
For us traveling, probably good news.
I think I think it's good that they
today.
have all that security. I like the security.
Oh,
I told you the story about me going through in my little diabetic pump.
Mm-hmm.
They had to hand search me.
Yes.
And they
you just wanted them to hand search you. You just wanted that experience of humiliation.
Oh, sure. Please humiliate me.
Exactly.
They asked me if I wanted to go into a private room. I go, no, I'm not going to a private
not with
room.
You, I
not
don't.
with you. I'm not going in there. But they contaminated their plastic, their rubber gloves before they touched me. They contaminated them before they touched me.
They don't know sterile technique.
Yes. So when they rubbed they patted me down and rubbed me all over. I guess they're looking for gunpowder on me or some kind of.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of residue they're looking for.
Looking for some kind of residue.
Yeah.
The only residue I had on me was like oats from that morning's breakfast. Anyway, when they rubbed me down, and they with this little, I guess it's some kind of.
Some kind of what?
Some kind of I don't know
what that is.
Well, it was a little strip of paper or whatever, and they rubbed it on the plastic glove, and it come up. And then they flocked over, and I was like, "Oh crap!"
No, what was it? What set it off?
Something set it off. They had contaminated their own gloves before they touched me.
Did they do it again?
They did it again.
Did you? They wanted
to touch me again.
Them? Did you say something to them though?
No,
Did you say y'all already contaminated those gloves?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh,
I didn't know what they were doing, really.
Okay,
but it was kind of exciting. But the look on people's faces were like,
"You're a criminal, man. They just judged you right there. You had your trial and everything."
Yeah.
What is that up there on the screen? Oh,
nothing.
What the heck happened?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Today is Bitcoin Pizza Day. What in the world is Bitcoin? Commemorating the first transaction paid for with Bitcoin.
Okay.
Somebody bought a pizza.
Bye, guy.
A World Goth Day. Have you ever dressed in goth?
No.
Me neither.
Okay.
All right.
Sherlock Holmes Day. Celebrating the world-famous fake detective. It's also National Maritime Day. Do you like vanilla pudding?
I do.
Well, this is your day, National Vanilla Pudding Day.
Tapioca's a lot better than vanilla.
I
like the tapioca.
I don't know what Paloma is.
Paloma?
It's the national drink of Mexico.
I
should know that. Tequila, made from tequila. Okay.
Okay.
What's next?
Abbey Road on the River. 50 bands from around the world will be gathering in Jeffersonville, Indiana today, and then Kermit the Frog commencement speech was moved. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.